Random release. One day, while you are taking a rare secret moment to rest in your cabin, Massa calls everybody to the big house. He sits in his big chair. You stand in a row, lining the hallway as he reads a paper out loud. You've never heard him do that before. That paper could say anything, but because you can't see it, you would never know. But he reports that the paper says you are free. You realize it must be true because why would Massa lie about freedom? He reads it, and then he hangs his head low and says, "Y'all is free," just like that. But as you listen to Massa's words and he says he will give papers of freedom to anyone who wants them, you are torn to the center of your heart. He goes on and on with, "Y'all can stay if y'all wants to," and blah, blah, blah. He's talking about staying in the quarters and working on a small piece of land for yourselves, and more blah, blah, blah. But all you hear is the pounding of your own heart and the thoughts that are racing in your mind, and you wrestle with your own thoughts. You've been trained to comply. Your head feels strange, but you embrace it. You begin to feel the wind of change ripping away at the cobwebs. Is it possible? Can you really be free? How do you be free? Nobody you know has ever done it before. Later, you hear tell from the few slaves who were listening to Massa, wait, now he's no mo Massa. And his offer is for folks to remain on the plantation working in the fields. He says he can't pay y'all nothing, but the slave quarters are free for housing, and you can keep a part of whatever you can raise on your own land. That's right. He'll give you a small patch of land to grow crops, but you have to share the profits in exchange for your room and board. It sounds almost too good. It sounds like a trick. But if not that, then what? What was No Mo Massa offering you? What about you and the other No Mo slaves who want to spread their wings and exercise this new freedom? Freedom is fresh. Release is random. Plans look powerless against the unknown. At first, there are more questions than answers. Where will you go? What will you do? What about food? What about clothes? In a few days, the offer is clear. Those who stay are to receive an acre or two, but they have to farm it for their rent and a little bit of what they can eke out of the soil. By the time they have paid for tools, seed, and fertilizer, there won't be nothing left, and they will still owe No Mo Massa money. They will barely be alive. Some of the No Mo slaves sit around, figuring and figuring, fear tying their thoughts into knots. You realize that if you stay, you'll have no property of your own, no home of your own. You'll still be nowhere and have nothing. And now you know for certain that you want more, even if that more is completely unknown to you. On the day of reckoning, you are released. There is a scant plan for you and anyone else who will go. You stand in line to receive your provisions. You leave the plantation carrying a little sack of potatoes, wearing a potato sack dress, a rough wool shawl, no clothes, with a small container of water, and a threadbare quilt. This care package clearly signals you are not intended to survive, but the seed of hope is planted in your heart.